got a couple things to wrap up. By the way, I got a little impatient when the pizza rolls came out of the air fryer, and we got a couple things that we need to sort out on this bad boy. We got the mustache bar. This goes right here. Well, sort of up here. And this keeps the engine from falling out, so kind of important. This little shield thingy, I've got to maneuver in here, but I've got to take the exhaust off in order to do this and the shield. Also, voltage regulator. So we got to get the charging system to work. We have a 12-volt voltage regulator with a negative ground because, you know, if you guys ever mess with any British things or some over-the-seas cars, you might notice that some of them are positive ground. Also, a point that might be pretty important for some people if you do end up working on any kind of Volkswagen, I guess, or even old Porsches, is that they made these in 6-volt and 12-volt. If you read on top here, it's going to be stamped with a series of letters and numbers. And what you're going to look for to determine whether or not you have 6-volt or 12-volt is if it says something like 8V or 13V in this case, which is what this says, making it 12-volt. The 12-volt doesn't say 12, and the 6-volt doesn't say 6. It'll say something close to the number that it actually is. So this isn't exactly the most exciting step in the world. All I'm doing is taking off a couple bolts. This thing's gonna come right off and hit me in the face, isn't it? Let me hold it with my forehead. That's probably a good idea. Right there, like that. There we go. So this should go in here about like, yep, that's not gonna happen, is it? What? To get this to work for this engine, I may just have to reinvent the mustache. This is where the engine would rest and bolt to the mustache bar. We've got a little bump out right here that keeps it from going any further that way and this way. Maybe I have this backwards. Let me see. So about right, ow, ouch. Right there is where the holes seem to be lining up, but they're still way off on the other side. As long as this fits and the exhaust still fits, I think we're just gonna roll with it. Yeah, look at that. All right, so I think that's how we're gonna roll. You're not gonna hear me make the claim that I'm an excellent fabricator. I am gonna say something to the effect of, I can BS my way through it pretty okay. Oh no, I knew that was gonna happen. And I do want to oversize it just a little because we might have to make some adjustments. That should do it. At the bottom of this, and this, and this, and right in the middle of that, right in here, should be where I need to drill my hole. And it'll be a through hole. It's going to go through this side, into this side, and actually thread into the engine block itself. Got it. It's done. I don't have a bolt that'll thread into that properly. Maybe I do. I'll have a look around. I don't think so. It's metric. There it goes. Whew. Well, significantly easier. Oh my golly. Quite an array of washers and, well, those are shims. There we go. Oh, all right. All of that just for this thing. That's it. I do not have a lot of metric stuff floating around, with the exception of a couple things I started to collect because I did have an LS motor in the back of my garage. That was going to be the engine that went into the 240SX that I had, and I knew I had to get rid of that car because if I didn't, I would be working on it and then I'd pull attention away from the Trans Am, and that was the primary project anyway. So I got offered a bit of money and I couldn't say no. But that meant that the LS that I had in the back of the garage really didn't have a home. Someone came and offered me some money, and I said, sure, why not? So the guy that came and got that actually was the same guy that did the head work on my Prius. So it's funny how things kind of come around. You just get punched until you cooperate. Perfect. Be good still, right? Everything is fine. Gaskete. I think you go that way. There we go. All right, it's back in. My uncle went to a Volkswagen place today, a guy local who does some Volkswagen work, and he picked up these CV joint bolts because that one over there was like 4 of the 6 missing, and they just so happen to be the perfect size, thread pitch and everything, to go in here. Look at that. Perfect. The last sort of major project, getting this muffler mounted. Flange, of course the muffler itself, and the mounting bracket. Not even close. So we got some work ahead of us to get this working like it's supposed to. I've already mentioned this. I'm not a master fabricator, but I think it'll do the job. May not win any, awards. That puts us in a pretty good spot to make this work. I'm not gonna have to do a whole lot of anything. And maybe you can see from here, I was trying to get this angle right so I didn't have to fight this too much, but I also had to deal with, which way the tailpiece or the tailpipe came out itself, because you don't want it to go up and recirculate potentially back into the engine compartment, because these are air cooled. You have to keep a good separation between anything down here exhaust wise and anything up here which would be intake related, which makes all of these little shields and the firewall and shrouds and everything, that makes this all super important. Anyway, let's get this thing fired up and see how different it sounds with the muffler on it. Oh. Cool. Sounds like a Volkswagen. Getting close to wrapping up pretty much all of the little odds and ends before this goes back to its owner, which is my aunt's dad. Back to people who can enjoy it. And I mean, that's what it's all about. I'm gonna end this video off with a nice evening drive in the Twinkie. Like, comment, and subscribe, do all the things. And I'll see you in the next video. See ya.